Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I want to talk to you today about what I call lawyer lead services. Some of these sites you come across on the internet where they say fill out our form and we'll have a lawyer contact you. And as opposed to a website from an actual lawyer, for example, if you go to my website, atlanta-bankruptcy-attorney.com, that is a website that I created, content that I wrote, and it's specific to my clients here or potential clients here in the Atlanta area. By contrast, you may go to other sites and you'll see kind of a simple form. For example, if you went to LegalZoom, which is a fine company certainly, but they have a referral service for lawyers, and I want you to understand how that works and the different types of referral services that are out there. So most of them work, and I will tell you I know this because I've actually sold leads to some of these companies and I bought leads from some of these companies. Nothing wrong with buying leads from a lead generator, but you need to know how that works. And basically how it works is, do you have a checkbook? And what I mean by that is that if you are an attorney and you're trying to increase your number of cases you file in bankruptcy cases you file, what you might do is you might contact a lead service, or they typically will solicit you, and they'll say, we can provide you a certain number of leads based on your zip code or area code, or whatever the case may be, and this is the cost per lead. It may be $35 a lead, $40, $20, whatever the deal you can work out is. And so if you buy these leads, anything that comes in on that zip code for what you've purchased, the lead will be forwarded to you. And again, nothing inherently wrong with that, but realize that the lawyers are not being really pre-qualified in any way, shape, or form. You don't have any idea who the lawyer is, what his qualifications are. Of course, you can and should ask that, but realize that anybody with a checkbook can start buying leads. And so my feeling is that if I'm looking for a lawyer and I'm researching on the internet, I would be much more inclined to look for a lawyer with his own website, his or her own website, I should say, and I could do my own research, make my own determination about the skills and qualifications of that attorney, as opposed to filling out a 5-line form, name, email address, phone number, a couple other questions, and then depending on the luck of the draw. So just be aware that when you fill out one of these forms, you're just basically sending your lead or your information to somebody who bought it, and you have no idea about their qualifications. Could be really good, could be marginal, could be somebody who graduated law school last week, or who just got off a bar suspension. We just don't know. There's another type of lead service which I really don't like at all, and those are the ones where the lead is sent to more than one attorney. And I'm not going to name it, but there's a big one out there where you submit a lead or you submit information, and the lead is sent to 3 or 4 attorneys who quote-unquote bid on your case. So, for example, in a bankruptcy, the lead goes to 3 or 4 attorneys, and you get an email from one saying, I could do this case for $1,200, and this one says I can do it for $1,000, and this one for $900, whatever the case may be. And at first blush, you may think, well, that's great, I'm going to get a really good deal. The problem is that what you end up getting are the bottom feeders, people that will do bankruptcy cases for the lowest amount possible, and their margins are so razor thin that they can't possibly offer any kind of service at all. I know at one point I had bought some leads from one of these companies, and there was a guy down the street, or a few miles away, I should say, who was basically undercutting everybody by several $100s. And this gentleman, at the time, this is again several years ago, really didn't have any clue what he was doing. So people were filing bankruptcy, his numbers were up, he was filing 15, 20, 30 cases a month, but he was pretty clueless as to what he was doing. And then I would get calls later on from people who he had filed for, who were just in a big mess because the case was not properly filed, or you put them in a 7 when they should have been in a 13. So again, you get what you pay for. And again, bankruptcy, for the most part, it's very competitive. Prices are going to be fairly consistent. They may range $50 to $100 here or there, but again, you get what you pay for. So I'm not a big fan of lead services unless you use them as a starting point, and you make it your business to do your own research, your own due diligence, and to ask questions about the lawyer's qualification and to check him or her out, and not just to make an appointment and go into the first person who who answers your lead. Because again, you don't have any idea what they're all about, and don't assume that the lead service has done any pre-qualification at all. The most pre-qualification that I ever was asked to do was to provide a proof that I had malpractice insurance and proof that I was a member in good standing of the bar. But beyond that, they didn't ask for any questions about qualifications, how many cases I had filed, any type of litigation I had engaged in, anything at all other than was I a member of the bar, did I have insurance, and was my check good. So that's how bankruptcy lead services work. Just again, it's something you should know about as a smart consumer. And again, I would advise you, before you choose any lawyer, to check that lawyer out on the web. There should be any I think responsible attorney is going to have a website with a lot of good information on it. There are plenty of very good bankruptcy lawyers here in Atlanta. Obviously, I hope you call my firm, but if not, do your research and try to find somebody who has experience, who will spend some time with you and who will explain what's going on and who really understands the process and what it means to file bankruptcy and how to help you recover from it. So I hope this has been helpful. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please also check me out on social media. I'm on Twitter and Google Plus and all the other social media outlets. And we've also got a website and a blog, which I'll link to, or I'll put a link to here on the screen. Any questions, of course, call my office. We're at 770-393-4985. And I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks a lot.